Alright, hello everyone. Today I decided to come outside to get some fresh air. As much as I like everything being remote, it's kind of hard to go outside, especially if you live upstate. But today I'm here to talk about part-time jobs while you're in school. I mean, I was lucky enough to not have to, pay my own tuition entirely, although I did contribute a little bit. And I'm also kind of in the process of paying everything back. And as much as it was difficult, I know that most people live the same way probably, and a lot of people have it worse. So, I just wanted to go through all of the part-time jobs, internships, and contract jobs that I've had throughout university, and I hope you guys can relate. So I did a total of 10 jobs/gigs throughout 4 years of college, but some of them were on-campus jobs, which are usually a lot easier. So the first one, resident assistant, RA. For being an RA, I got free dorm coverage and around 500,000 Korean won per semester, which is around 365 USD. So I was an RA for about 2 years. I mean, on paper, it said that I worked 10 hours a week, but in reality, it was a lot more than that. So my role included weekly check-ins with residents, which was just, checking up on each resident one-on-one to make sure they're doing fine. It was organizing at least 2 campus-wide events per semester and some other small stuff like emergency phone duty, which is just on-call duty. And it was basically just managing your floor and your residents to make sure that everything's fine, there's no problems. Yeah, so whether it was super early in the morning, late at night, if problems happened in the dorm, it was kind of our responsibility to mitigate any problems that happen. My second job was a TA. So this was not paid, but I got 3 credits per semester. I was a TA for an object-oriented class that used Java. I had to have 8 hours of office hours every week and also attend the class's recitations and proctor their exams as well. Honestly, not that many students attended the office hours, and so it was pretty chill. It was also kind of late at night, so I would just do my own assignments and sometimes just hang out with the other TAs that were there. But I mean, even if students did come, I kind of enjoyed teaching OOP. Number 3, front-end software engineering intern at a small solutions tech company in Korea. I got paid 12,500 Korean won per hour, which comes to about 9 USD or $1,500 a month. So I took on this job on the summer after my sophomore year. So this is my first internship. I was a front-end software engineer, but honestly, the internship was super scuffed. And so I feel like I didn't really do anything. I just contributed a little bit to the company's project that they never used. They never pushed to production, so my code basically went to the trash. But I guess that's how every first internships are like. I don't know. Since it was my first time working full-time, and it was also my first time making, a somewhat decent amount of money, back then it was a lot for me. Yeah, it taught me how to budget, and it really taught me how to cook because I stopped eating out, ironically. Number 4, I was an English teacher at an English academy for about 15,000 won per hour or $11. So during my semester, I got a part-time job at an English academy. I think this was during my sophomore year. I basically taught, little Korean kids from around 6 to 10 years old English. I already had a lot of experience teaching English because I did a lot in high school. But what kind of sucked was that usually the parents would be watching inside the classroom through a window. And so they'll basically see how I would teach their kid, which is extremely intimidating because, Korean moms are kind of crazy when it comes to educating their children. And I also had to brief them after every class on how their kid is doing and what we went over during class. But I ended up quitting after 3 months because my boss was really bad. She would forget to pay me sometimes. And also there's this one time I was super sick. So I called in and I was like, okay, I'm feeling extremely sick. I can't go in today. And she was like, oh, there's a hospital right in the same building as the academy. So you should go to the hospital, get a shot. And you should try to come into work today. I was like, no, I was on the verge of dying. I'm pretty sure I had COVID or something. So I quit. So my 5th one is also an English teacher at a different academy that paid me 25,000 won per hour, which is around $19. It was a better English academy and it was more prestigious. It was in a pretty wealthy neighborhood, and so there were a lot of rich families that would send their kids here. I taught math and English to kids from 4th to 6th grade, and I also taught TOEFL to a middle school student. And I was there for about 6 months. The pay was a lot better. and the job was more fun. And I really liked it, so I tried to work as much as possible. So I would kind of try to put my working hours in between some of my classes. And my boss was really nice. She was a very powerful person. I remember the interview was the most interesting interview I've ever had. She would ask these really weird questions, and she was very, straight to the point and direct. Yeah, I definitely enjoyed that job. I kept in touch with like some of the teachers there even like a year after I quit. So that was pretty nice. Alright, before we jump in, I want to give a quick shout out to the sponsor of today's video, FlexiSpot. FlexiSpot is a company that's all about making your workspace healthier and more comfortable. They specialize in ergonomic office furniture like standing desks, desk converters, and really nice chairs. And if you haven't realized, I'm actually currently sitting on the chair that they have sent me. This is the Ergo X Premium Ergonomic Office Chair. Now look, I spend a lot of time sitting at my desk, either coding, editing, working. I was pretending to be productive. So having a chair that doesn't, destroy my spine is a really big deal. The Ergo X is super adjustable. The lumbar support, the headrest, even the armrests move in ways that, I didn't know armrests could move. It's basically the Swiss Army knife of office chairs. And yeah, it actually also feels super premium. There's no weird squeaks, the wheels roll really smoothly. My favorite part of the chair is that it has a leg rest, and you can also just like fully lay down. So you can legit just like take a nap on your chair. I honestly thought I wouldn't use the leg rest, but after sitting for long hours every single day, I started to really appreciate the leg rest to kind of change my posture to have better, to make my lower back happier. So if you're looking to upgrade your setup and you also want your lower back to be still young and healthy in 5 years, buy this chair using the link in the description below, and it'll take you to the website to buy the Ergo X chair. Thanks again to FlexiSpot for supporting my channel and also my posture. Now back to the video. Number 6, it was a freelance software engineer contract role, which was basically 300,000 won per project, or around $220. This was through like a friend I made in school. He was a business major, and he kind of, introduced me to this project that he was working on with his professor. The job was really easy. I basically had to kind of maintain legacy code and kind of run the project because they needed certain like outputs that they had to see. And I probably spent like 5 hours a week on this. Number 7 is an IT/software test intern at a small startup. I got paid 2.2 million won per month, which is around $1,600. So the title is kind of confusing because, to be honest, I didn't even know what position I was in. It was at an OS startup at Incheon Startup Park, which is basically like a collection of startups in Incheon, in Korea. There were only like 2 people in the company, and so it was like super chill. And it was also fully remote, so that was really nice. This one was also very scuffed. I didn't really know what I was doing. The stuff I did was really uninteresting as well, so I kind of just did it for the money. And yeah, that marked the end of my time in Korea. And so now I moved to the US. Everything was a lot more expensive here, so I really was desperate to find jobs. My options were very limited because I had no car. And if you're in Long Island, you know that if you don't have a car, you're pretty fricked. So my job number 8 was I was a shopper at Stop & Shop for $16 an hour. Honestly, like $16 is pretty good, even though it's minimum wage here because everything's a lot more expensive. But I probably got paid like $2K a month, and so that was, that covered my rent, groceries, and basically everything. My job was basically I get online orders from customers, and I'll go throughout the store, shop for it, label it, and I would put it in the bag and then wait and give it to the customer to pick up. On to job number 9, I was a software engineering intern at a law firm for $20 an hour. So at this point, I applied to probably 200 internships, and this was the only offer that I got, so I just took it as soon as possible. And this was during my gap year, so I worked here for about 5 to 6 months. But low-key, I kind of just did this for the money as well. I mean, come on, I have to pay rent. And here I just basically worked on internal tools using Java, Spring Boot using Java and React. Job was okay. And this brings to the last gig that I had during college, which was a part-time software engineer at a small unofficial startup by university students in California. And I didn't get paid, but I got equity and kind of a small sign-off fee. It was a super spontaneous gig, but some students from California reached out to me and they're like, "Oh, do you want to work on this project?" Yeah, it was interesting. It was also fully remote, but it was really fun. I learned a lot, I would say. The work was at least, it was really interesting. But anyways, yeah, those were all the jobs that I had in college, at least the ones that are somewhat notable. And I would say I learned a lot from them. Sometimes I think I'm really glad that not everything was just handed to me, because if I didn't have those experiences working and kind of being on survival mode to make money. Because, you know, those experiences, they taught me a lot of things about just life in general, I guess. And I was able to meet a lot of people through it. Yeah, living that, you know, survival mode life was definitely a thrill. But, you know, I think those things will all be, you know, good memories. And so, but anyways, yeah, that's all I have for today. I'll see you guys next time.